Assalamualaikum and a very good morning. Those who are already in the room, I hope that you can log on to your Putra Blast and sign up for attendance as usual. Okay, guys, while waiting for your friends, I just want to ask you, do you have any question regarding your assignment? Just to remind you that the assignment have to be handed over uh, on Friday. The latest is 5 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. So if you have any question, just let me know. And then just to uh, just to inform you that I will uh, I will answer any questions until Thursday, but once on Friday I will not uh, answer any question anymore. Right? That one is most probably you are the last minute doing. Yeah. Guys, just to ask you about class, do you prefer online class or something like the offline class, meaning I record the video earlier and then you will watch the video, learn from it, and then we have one session to discuss about the topic. What did I miss? Uh, you didn't miss anything. I didn't start anything yet, but I just let you know that if there is any questions regarding your assignment, please ask today and also tomorrow, because starting Friday, the handover day, I will not answer any question anymore. Just something that I just want to inform you. Guys, regarding to the class, do you have any uh, answer on it? On it? Do you like offline or online class? This is considered online. Okay, Anis mentioned that, yeah, both. See, okay. So you're okay with both, right? Or Akila mentioned that prefer live lecture. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you for your response. I think it's already 8:05 o'clock. 8:05 in the morning. So we should start our class. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Can we start with Kita Al-Fatiha? Okay. Good morning, guys. For those who are in the room, okay, you log on to your Putra Blast and then sign up your attendance. Now I'm presenting the screen, my screen. I hope that you can see it. I would like to start with recording this meeting. Allow me to record it. Okay. We we stopped at this slide last Monday, right? So the last slide. So this is the organization involved in SQA standard development. So we are focusing on SQA, software quality assurance standard development. So most prominent developer of SQA standard is the IEEE, right? Even though the name is electric and electronic engineers, but they have something like cluster of computer society. So this computer society developed the SQS standard for uh, uh, for the software quality, right? So we also have ISO. Even though ISO, we know that ISO have developed a standard for a huge range of standard. It is not only computers; it is also for chemical engineering, for bioengineering, and a lot of things covered. Even the what call that the management process and so on. So ISO covered a lot of things, and then the DoD standard also covered a lot of things. This meant for something like defense standards, right? So U.S. Department of Defense, yeah, but they also provide some standard for for a lot of things, right? For and then for our part is more toward the SQA, because the one that I learned before around in 2003, at that time we don't have the software development. It's not the software development. It's something like the documentation standard for software development. Then at that time, the first standard is the DoD standard that I learned. And then after that, they evolved to another ISO standard and also IEEE standard. Another one is also American standard, right? They call it ANSI, ANSI. This is the American National Standard Institute, while DoD more towards the defense, but ANSI or ANSI is more towards the uh, global topic of standard, right? More range, a wider range of topics. So we also have IEC, International Electrotechnical Commission. They also provide standard, yeah, for SQA, and the last but not least, the EIA, Electronic Industries Association. So we can have this example, or this is not an example. This is the main developers of SQA standard. Okay, so IEEE, for example, so this is several standard that uh, we can see, or we can have an example, right? So this is IEEE, the Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineer, the Computer Society, right? For example, they have something like a Software Engineering Standard Committee that produced the 1228 in 1994 standard for software safety plan. So this is they have something like a cluster of software engineering standard committee, and then this standard committee produce some IEEE standard for software, right? For example, this one is 1228, is a software safety plan, right? So this is more focused on software safety plan. Another one is the quality measurement. The quality measurement, they also provide 1061 in 1992 standard for software quality metrics methodology. So this is for example of a software standard, yeah, that produced by IEEE. Of course, it is not only limited to this, but you can also find a lot of things from the IEEE. We will see that later, right? Another one is the ISO. So we can see this is the example of ISO. ISO also gives something like vocabulary, meaning that the taxonomy, meaning if you want to have something like a standard meaning or of a term, right? So they also have something like a glossary for that. So ISO also give a vocabulary or glossary for uh, terms, and then they put it in one standard document. So you can find it here, right, in ISO 29. I'm not mistaken. Something like the vocabulary is 147. No, no, it's not 147. Uh, I don't remember that. Sorry. But you can just find it in the internet. Just ISO computer, something like vocabulary, and then you can find it in the internet, right? So ISO IEC. So if it is ISO IEC, these terms mean the development is done by is used, sorry, the standard is used for the ISO and also for IEC, right? It is not only ISO use it, but also IEC also use it. If it is ISO, IEC, and IEEE, so those three certification is not certification, the standard body that produce the standard, develop the standard, use or adopt that uh, standard for their organization, right? So if it is only the ISO, so this is the used by the ISO, right? But if it is the ISO slash IEC slash IEEE, so meaning that these three body use this standard. Okay. So if it is something like this, ISO IEC, so ISO and also IEC use this 2382 dash 7, the vocabulary part 7 of computer programming. They give something like vocabulary of computer programming. And then the ISO 9000-3, a quality management, quality assurance standard part 3, right? Normally this is show part, yeah, because some standard have it's quite big, right? They make it in parts, right? Something like the ISO 9000 or ISO 26262 for software automotive safety. They have a lot of parts, right? So you can have you need to buy all parts, or you can focus on parts that you are involved in, right? So this is the part 3 guideline for application of 9001 to the development, supply, installation, maintenance of computer software. So if you want to have this one, computer software for development, supply, installation, maintenance, then you have to refer to part 3 in ISO 9000, right? So this is for 9001 to the development. So DoD standard also have something like CMMI. This is capability maturity model integration or improve. So CMMI software and also system engineering and also software, right? So they have something like this in DoD. This is more toward the process, and also they have certification if you are certified, because CMMI they have some level. We will learn about this later, inshallah. Then they have something like level 1, 2, 3 until 5, if I'm not mistaken. Then you have to, if you comply with some it's not regulation, some criteria of level 1, you can have a CMMI level 1, but level 1 is normally don't have any certification. But it start with 2 or 3, I think it's 3, 4, and 5. If you get certified for CMMI level 3, and then you can use it as something like we are certified. The organization can use it, like they can mention that they are certified as CMMI level 3 or level 4 or level 5, which one they uh, fulfill the criteria.
So,
Yeah.
will we ever need to remember the standards that they make?
Okay, you don't have uh, to remember all the standards, right? There are a lot of standards. So to remember it, it is something like it's not impossible, but yeah, sometimes it's not usable, right? It is based on your because when you are working when in the industry, it is not all you have to remember, and all you have to fulfill is based on the requirement of the industry. But you need to know on how to search for it, right? And then if some people saying that, okay, we want to find some standard, we have a VNV, meaning that the verification and the validation, which standard that we can follow, right? And then you can search for it, right? For me, I personally more towards the ISO. Then after that, I will try to find for IEEE, right? So this is something that you need to know, that this is all the most prominent uh, uh, standard body or standard developer, right? So if you have to find the standard, then you have to find from IEEE or from ISO or from IEC or DoD standard or ANSI and so on, and then you can take that standard to be used in your organization or in your project, right? But of course, yes, you have one thing that you need to do it to remember is some crucial standards, right? Some crucial standard, meaning something that is normally used. For example, the IEEE 830, right? For the requirement, right? So either 830 or you can use ISO 29148. That one is for requirement. If you want to do the requirement, if you think that you want to comply with some standard, then this is the standard that you can refer. Okay, something that I don't know what to do with on software design, right? Okay, so I want to refer a software design documentation, what should be in the design documentation, then you can refer to the IEEE 1016, right? So this is some uh, ISO or IEEE or standard that you have to a bit remember, right? Remember, it's not something that is really specific, like safety, right? Software safety is something that not all people will involve in the safety related or safety critical system. And then but no you are normally you will something like involve with the software development, right? Software development, you have requirements, so requirement normally you will refer to 830 or 29148, and then after that you want to make a design, so you can follow the 1016, right? If you want to do testing, you can for the testing documentation you can follow the 829, and then after that you can also use the newest one, is the 29119, right? So some maintenance and so on. So you have to remember a bit, right? A bit. It's not all. Something that related to your software development cycle, right? It is not more specific. It is not specific, right? Something like the 1228 here. This is the software safety plan, right? So normally some people don't have any safety plan, and then it is not safety critical system, right? So sometimes this is not usable in your software development. The one that you have to remember is the thing that you have, the thing that you will use normally, right? Okay, Hazim.
Okay, sir.
All right. So you have to remember a bit. It's not all, because there are a lot of software, something like software standard, right? A standard for software development, and then some of it is focus on some topic, but you have to remember something that the one is crucial. The one that I think you also learn in your software requirement, right? Software requirement, you learn about some standard, right? I think the one who taught you software requirement already mentioned about the 830, right? But 29148 is the newest one. But yeah, I will let you know about what is 29148 later, right? Okay, so the DoD standard, right? And then you have the IEC. Okay, so IEC is the International Electrotechnical Commission. For example, IEC 61508 or 61508, 2010. This is for functional safety or electronic programmable electronic safety related system, right? So this is quite a famous one, the 61508. This is for functional safety for vehicles. It's not it is something like a vehicle. It's not only automotive. It is also used for train, used for but not the aviation, but more towards the at the time for car, for locomotive and so on, right? But for automotive, they have a newer one, right? They have the ISO 26262. The latest one is 2019 or 2018, if I'm not mistaken. But that one is based on the 61508, right? The one that I mentioned about ASIL level, right? The level of integrity level for the safety, right? This is it's not produced. It's something that you can refer to 61508. They have mentioned about on uh, how to calculate the risk for safety, functional safety, right? Okay, this is a software quality assurance standard by TAS, as I mentioned to you before, right? So uh, that's why I mentioned about, or I review with you about the software development life cycle, right? So every cycle or every phases in the software development life cycle, they have something like a quality assurance on that, and then they produce a specific standard for that. So if you have something, if you want, if you can see here, right, the general project management. So IEEE standard 1058 mention about the standard for software project management plans, right? So uh in this standard, you can have, yeah, software project management plan, right? If you want to see the software quality assurance plan, you can refer to the ISO standard 730-2014. So this is focused on assurance plan, quality assurance plan. This is focused on software project management plan, right? And sometimes, if you can see the plan, or sorry, the standard, they have something like interrelated standard. Some standard have a general one, and then they mention about another standard that specify some parts of the standard, right? So life cycle IEEE 1074 in 1991. So IEEE standard for developing a software project life cycle process define the set of activity that constitute processes that mandatory for the development and maintenance of software. So this is more guideline on how to develop a software. They have something like standard there. They're called the 1704. Right? So requirement, right? Requirement standard 1233 1996. So this is the guide for developing SRS, right? System requirement specification, and then you have maintenance, right? IEEE standard for maintenance 14764 that define the process of performing maintenance software, right? Prescribed requirement for process control management planning and so on, right? So you have productivity on how to measure the project productivity. This is the software productivity metrics, right? In 1045, define the framework of measuring or reporting productivity of the software process, right? For example, measure productivity of the software process for creating code and documentation product. Okay, guys, from this example by task, okay, we know that we have planning, right? We have planning, we have requirement analysis, we have software design or software architecture, we have software construction, or you mentioned about implementation, and then we have software maintenance, right? So this is something like a bit planning, right? Planning and also safety. Software quality. This is also planning for the whole uh, uh, for the whole development of software. This is for requirement, right? So what else? Uh, so I actually I've already mentioned to you, right? So what is other requirement standard? Sorry, what is the other standard for requirement? This is 1, 2, 3, 3.
Is does Department of does Department of Defense have one?
Oh, as I mentioned about the IEEE, sorry, it's not IEEE. Uh, the DoD standard for requirement. Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure about that. Right? Probably they have before, because I think they are they are really early on that. But normally now I will refer to IEEE or ISO. So for that one, try to Google, right? So the OD standard for uh, uh, software requirement. Okay, so you can find it. You can see here, all right? The DoD standard 2167A. So if you see the Wikipedia, and also military standard 5498. Okay, so just to inform you, this is the one that I learned before in 2000, yeah, in 2003. So this is the military standard 2167A that specify the software development phases and also the documentation that they are needed in the software development. Okay. Okay. So other standard IEEE standard for requirement documentation. Oh no, EARS is a software sorry, software requirement template, right? Software requirement template is EARS, easy, what do you call it? Easy, the requirement specification, easy. Not sure what is A, but RS is the requirement specification. So that one is the template, right? So I mentioned to you before, standard for requirement that I normally use is, yes, 830. Thank you, Ilya. 830, and the other one is the ISO 29148. Right, I put it here. It's I, ISO 29148. Right, so now it is revision is 2018. Right, so previously is 2011. Okay, so we know about requirement. So what about software design? What is the ISO standard for? It's not ISO standard, any standard. So any standard for software design. I mentioned to you before the IEEE standard for software design. Right? Are you Googling? 1016. Yes, you are correct. Thank you, Ilya. So 1016, that one is for software phase, sorry, design phase. So what about testing phase? What about testing? IEEE. You learned testing last semester, right? Yes, thank you, Shazwani. 829 is correct. This is for testing documentation, right? 2008. Another one is the ISO, the newest one, 1008. Uh, I'm not sure that it is ISO or IEEE. Oh, this is for unit testing. Yeah, this is for only for unit testing. How about this testing documentation? Yes, correct, Hairi, is 29119. So that one is the latest for testing, right? 29119. Okay, guys. Then you have maintenance, something like 14764, and also productivity 1045. This is not in the basis, but this is more toward the productivity of software development. Okay, good. Thank you very much for your response. Okay, so IEEE 1012, this is for standard for verification and also validation, right? So you still remember what is VNV, right? Verification and validation. Still remember that? Have you learned it in your testing course?
Yes.
Yes, right? So what is verification?
It more focus on the process
On the
process of
process.
uh,
Yeah, good. Thank you very much, Hazim. And what is the validation?
it's more focus on product.
More on product. So you can yes. Thank you very much, Hazim. Yes, you can what do you call that? You can think about that one, right? Meaning that if people ask you about verification, this is yeah, you can say that more towards the process. So you can actually you have to think about the product. Is the product rightly built? Meaning that it is built in the right way, right? For verification and for validation is we build the right product, right? Is it the product that we build is satisfy the user needs. So this is the validation. This is the and then another one is the verification. So to provide both critical and non-critical software uniform and minimum requirement for the format content of the software verification and validation plans. So this is uh, provided by the ISO 1012, right? So to define for critical software specific minimums of verification, validation, and tasks, right? And the required inputs and outputs shall be included in the SVVP plan. So in this standard, they define something, right? They define something. They define the critical software and specific minimum, right? Minimum tasks that have to be done, right? So because a lot of people, as I mentioned to you before, they don't know actually what minimum tasks they have to uh, they have to conduct, right? Because some people saying that this is not critical, this is critical. So if it is critical, what is the minimum one? If it's not critical, what is the minimum task that they have to conduct? This is a lot of debate. So in this standard, they mentioned that, right? If you have a critical software, this is the minimum task that you have to conduct in the VNB verification and validation of the software, right? To suggest optional, so this is minimum specific minimum verification validation task. This is mandatory, right? And then to suggest, they recommend something that optional VNV task to be used to tailor SVVP as appropriate for particular VNB effort, right? So, for example, uh, 1012, right? So this is 1012, the one that I mentioned just now, software, the IEEE standard for system and software verification and validation. So you can access it, right? Because this is because you can download it, I think, right? If you can see it here, Yeah, I have downloaded in 2017. I hope that in 2020 you can still download it, right? Because our library subscribe this the IEEE. You can download it if you want to see what it is in the IEEE VNB. Okay, so it is. I downloaded it in 2017, but I hope that you can also still uh, download it by using your account, right? Library account in order to see this one. Okay, so you can see this is the thing that uh, in the standard. So you have scope, field, the objective, motive, the integrity levels, VNV processes overview, right? So this is all the standard they have developed, right? So this is based on the integrity level. So if it is integrity level 4, you have to perform software component testing. But if it is integrity level 1, you should not do that, right? It is not compulsory to do that. So meaning no action, don't do the software component testing. But yeah, this is the integrity level for software. And also they mentioned about the hardware, and also they mentioned about the system itself, meaning that the software and also the hardware. So this is something like a reference table, right? If your software is lies to be the fourth integrity level, right? And then you have to perform all this, right? All this. So if you are in number 2, you have to perform or you have to only do some reviews, right? So the the definition of what is review and also what is performed, they already mentioned in this document. So you have to read it, right? So this is reference, right? The one that you can I mentioned to you before. Standard also can be a reference. So if you want to do the VNV, you can refer to this standard. All right. So IEEE 828 2005, the IEEE standard for software configuration management. So what is configuration management, guys? Guys, what is configuration management?
Uh, is it like uh, how? Is it like configure managing the changes in the software?
Not maintenance, Anis. Yeah, it's also regarding to maintenance, but it is not really specific for maintenance, right? Hazim, yes, a part of it, part of it, because managing changes of the software configuration management, managing changes, managing the collaboration, right? And also the version of the system. This is more towards the software configuration management, right? So this is the thing that you need to learn, right? Because in this in now because nowadays this is a really crucial thing, right? You they the development involve a lot of people, right? A lot of people, and then you have to have a good configuration management on how to make a collaboration, a good collaborative environment, and also you have to manage the version, right? It is not the version, because sometimes if you see software, the release version name is different in the development version name, right? The one that we can see in Windows, right? Windows 10, Windows 9, sorry, Windows 9 is not available. Windows 8, right? 8.1, Windows 9. But in development version, they have some different, uh, something like different code name for the version, right? So it's different. Okay, so that one you have to manage it, right? You have to manage it, map it with the production version and versioning and so on. So normally, software configuration, they have some manager. They have a manager there to manage all the things, right? So software management, configuration management is really crucial, because I think that probably you're not seeing it really important now, because normally you do the assignment, right? You do assignment involve only around 4 to 5 people, or maximum 9. Sorry, maximum 6 people, right? It is not too big, right? If you are really, uh, if you are working in a really big companies. For example, you are working with the automotive system, right? So there is a department, yeah, just focused on braking module, and another department more on the handling module, right? And another department more towards the infotainment module, and another one is powertrain, something like that. And then you have to merge it, right? And then you have to uh, you have to control the version of the module, and also the version of the integrated module, and so on. So you have to have a really good configuration management. So think about a bigger stage of software development. It is not only in the software development while you are doing your assignment. So I have a example of video on if this one is something like problematic, right? Uh, oh, no, sorry. So this is something like a video for that. I need to change this presentation. Can you see the YouTube video, guys?
Yes, doctor.
Okay,
Yes.
I can start.
Configuration management is not something that figures prominently in a typical software course. However, it can cause real problems and even deaths in the real world. In 2015, an Airbus A400M flight crashed because of a configuration management error. 3 out of 4 engines in the aircraft had corrupted torque calibration parameters. By design, for some reason, the pilots only get warnings when they're 120 meters off the ground. Then the engines throttle back or shut down. So that means the aircraft took off with bad configuration, got up in the air, and then lost 3 out of 4 engines. The pilots attempted to land but were unable to do so successfully, resulting in a crash that killed 4 out of 6 crew members. Afterwards, someone associated with this said they never imagined they'd lose 3 out of 4 engines. But a bad configuration can be a common cause failure that causes multiple redundant systems to all fail together.
Okay, guys. So you know the situation, right? So the airplane have 4 engines, right? But only 3 fail. One, yeah, running. So there is a configuration management problem there, right? So you didn't do a good calibration, good uh, maintenance. Sorry, the configuration for all engine in the airplane, right? So configuration management, right? Identify requirement for configuration identification, right? Configuration control, configuration status, accounting, reporting, right? Audits, and also the review. So this is a standard for configuration management. So you need to have a configuration identification. You have you mentioned about the configuration control, right? How to control the configuration, the status accounting and the reporting on how to report, and also accounting the configuration, how to audit configuration management, and also how to review it. So this is a standard to do that, right? The implementation of those requirements provide a mean of which the evolution of software product items are recorded, communicated, and also controlled. This is the thing that really important. Yeah, it's control. Okay, and then this provide assurance of integrity and continuity of the software product item as they evolve through the software development and maintenance lifecycle. Right, so this is the 730. Is more towards the software quality plan, right? It is another example of standard that is used widely in software quality assurance, right? So this is about software quality plan, the 730, the IEEE. So specify the format, content of software quality assurance plan, and describe how software quality assurance plan can be implemented. It's just something. It is mentioned about what what do you call it, the plan, the format, and so on, and how to implement it. So this is other IEEE standard. So this is standard for quality metrics. 1061, 1992, 1028, 2008. This is for reviews and also audits. 830, as most of you, one of you mentioned that this is a practice for the software requirements and much more. The one that I mentioned to you, the 1016, you can have IEEE 29119. Right, the software, the automotive safety is 26262, and 61508, the one that I mentioned before, is for vehicle safety. That a lot of standard, right? A lot of standard. It's not only a software, and you may also in your development, your software development, you may involve some other testing, right? Some other, not some other testing, some other standard. I have a what call that experience before that I have to learn about the ISO, the smart card testing. It's not smart card. It's not the chip, but the smart card itself, the card of the smart card. So how to comply with the standard, the 7816, if I'm not mistaken, the ISO 70816 that define the smart card, the plastic card for the usage of this of the user. Sorry. Certification of standard. This is 2 slides before we end our session. So, okay, why organization needs certification for standard they apply, right? So to enable a software development organization to demonstrate consistent ability to assure acceptable quality of its software product or maintenance services. So why organization needs certification, right? Because this one, to enable software organization demonstrate, to present that they have a consistent ability to assure acceptable quality, right? To assure the acceptable quality of its products, right? The one that they produce or maintenance services, right? So this is why a lot of organizations want to have to get certified. Same with you, right? Same with your with the with you in the with sorry for same with software developer in the industry, right? A lot of developers try to get a certification, right? When they more towards Java, they try to get the certification for Java. It is same with the network guy. When they say that, okay, I'm a network guy and I want to get a certification, for example, the Cisco CCNA and so on. So this is something that the certification that can demonstrate your ability, right? Your ability to produce something with the quality, meaning that with the specified process from some organizations. Right? In other words, certification is a meaning that standards are applied correctly and also completely. Right? Correct and also complete. Yeah. So we can see the certification here help to obtain more business. Right? You can make certification is something like your selling point. Right? Selling point that okay. Company A also do software development. Some company B also do some software development. Company C also do some software development. But company C is a CMMI certified or CMMI certified level 4, level 5. Let's say for a testing company, the company that do testing, right? Company A do testing, have some probably 20 years of experience. Company B have also 20 years of experience. Company C have maybe a bit less, 15 years of experience. However, Company C have TMMI, something like the certification body, international well-known certification body to certify the company that do the right process and do the correct process of doing testing. So then you can say that although we have 15 years, it's only 5 years behind from other A and B company A and B, but we are certified, meaning that we already have our standard process. We do it correctly, and we can do it in what call that consistently, right? We can do it consistently. So this is our selling. This is the selling point, because standard certification of standard can be the selling point. Certification is granted by external body. So because external body will come and then will evaluate and give you the certification, and then the third party certification body provide independent confirmation. So they are really independent, no relation to the company at all, and then they do the certification, right? And then meet the requirement of a certain standard, and hence certification is given to that organization. So for example, in Malaysia, we have this one, right? We have the ISTQB. Okay. Oh, sorry. I need to put the ISTB. So I can click here. Sorry. Okay. Wait, I can see. I can show you this. So in Malaysia, we have our certification company that do the certification. This is one of it. Yeah, probably they have one or two more, because to have a to certify as a certification, it's not certification body, or the one that do the certification or give the certification, is not really easy, right? You have to have a lab. You have to have a human resource that really know about the quality, about the certification, and so on. So it is not easy to get this. So yeah, we are lucky in Malaysia. We have one. So I can show you the company. It's not the company. It's what call that? It is some body. It's a board, right? So you can see this, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so this is the MSTB Quality Software Product Certification Scheme. So we have a company or a certification body to give the certification, right? To do the evaluation of certification against the conform of the 9126/2001 that define the six quality. So they will once companies send for certification, they will compare, or they will do the benchmark of these six characteristic, the one that we have learned before, right? About the ISO 9126. Okay, so this is the thing that we have, right? So I think this is the video for that.
Hi there. For the next 3 minutes, we are going to talk on the importance of quality in software, where globally everything runs on software. We will start off with why quality is important. The dependency of a software is based on its quality. Quality software product can sell better. Then quality software provides confidence to users. User confidence will improve the reputation of the software makers. Quality software product has to be developed to a quality standard which requires it to be certified. The Malaysian Software Testing Board (MSTB) provides a quality software or QS certification. In QS product certification, both software product and document will be evaluated against international standards of ISO IEC 9126 and 25051. In getting a software product to be QS certified, the first thing you have to do is to go to MSTB website and study materials related to QS product certification. The website contains all required information on QS product certification. Next, you will need to acquire a Jumpstart Pack from MSTB. The Jumpstart Pack contains important documents relating to details involved in product certification, including the Do-It-Yourself Certification Readiness Survey, QS Specific Technical Requirement or STR on international standard for both software and document evaluation, and a lot more. Now, let's have a closer look at the QS product certification journey. There are 4 stages. Stage 1, the pre-application stage, involves the applicant or the client assessing their software and operation readiness for certification. After that, the applicant will need to complete the PID form and submit to MSTB, which will be validated. Stage 2, the application stage now requires the client to perform a walkthrough of the software product to MSTB. Based on information from PID and the walkthrough session, MSTB will perform review on software product validity for QS product certification. A quotation proposal is then issued to the client. If the client agreed to it, QS application form is then completed and has to be submitted to MSTB for finalization of the application. Stage 3 involves the independent evaluation that will be carried out on the software and its documentation, based on the evaluation manual that can be found at MSTB website. The last stage involves the decision made by the Independent Decision Committee if the software is certified. Once the software is successfully certified, a licensing agreement is signed off and it is governed by the QS Certification Software Terms and Conditions and Licensing Agreement.
Okay, guys. I think that's all for today. Right. So next we will learn about the ISO 9000. So we end at the certification of standard. So, but just to discuss with you a bit, yeah, why a lot of people don't want to have certification. So this is based on what I see, because a lot of you can see that the process is not easy, right? So you have to hand over a lot of documentation and you have to fulfill a lot of forms, and then you have to go through a lot of process, right? And then after that, the one challenge is you have to hand over all of your information about your software, including the code, including all the requirement, design, and so on. So you give all the things about your software. That's some company don't really like, right? Because sometimes they have a doubt on the one who do the certification, right? Because sometimes they also have some development company. So yeah, you know that there's something like a competent because they are competition each other, right? They have to compete each other. Okay, guys, thank you very much. I think we are already late right now. It's 9 o'clock. Do you have any question, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you very much. We see you
Thank you,
inshallah
sir.
next week. Okay, assalamualaikum.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you, Dr.